students out of it. So this is a very useful thing to have from that perspective. Then finally, the lunch supervision is already in place with extended day kindergarten. We have, is it 3 locations, Matt, where we have supervision going on with the kindergarten already. So these students, if they were going to be in a morning and an afternoon preschool, would just be ushered down to have lunch with in any of these classrooms. So we have room to accommodate a lot of kids within that.
So Mark,
Sure.
going back to that one again, so if parents have the flexibility of adding as well as decreasing, how hard is that gonna be for the teacher to know, week to week? I mean, she could have, a minimum, she could have the maximum, it could change.
Usually what happens.
Trying to develop some kind of consistency?
Yeah, well, we ask people to sign up and they, like say they want 3 days. So they'll say, okay, I want a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They select that, they pay for it. And usually it's in consultation with the teachers and how the child is doing. So it's not like, oh, this week I'm just changing my mind kind of thing. It's usually something that's been, the teachers see coming and they can prepare for it. Is that correct? I mean, yeah. So you're counseling them on, what makes sense and so on. It's not like all of a sudden you have a quick shift and all of a sudden, well, I've got this child now 5 days and I only had him, 2 days or 3 days. Okay. These are important kind of issues here. The age 3 and 4 students attending in the PM only will receive the same curriculum as AM students. So there's, that's not going to change. The all-day students will have the PM program differentiated to include, these are 3 and 4-year-olds are going to need, whether you want to call it nap time or down time or whatever, we'll have to accommodate that. Additional instruction and course subjects depending on individual needs and enrichment, extension of music, PE, and art. Now, no, then this is a big thing, and I don't speak on your behalf, but we've talked in detail about this with the teachers and Matt and myself. If this flies, then we have work to do in terms of getting this differentiation ready so that the students that are in the afternoon program only or in both morning and afternoon would be appropriately challenged and have programs that. I mean, this is not like glorified daycare. Let me just put it that way. It's a, this is preschool, the same thing as in the morning program. But yes, I will acknowledge that we haven't got everything figured out in terms of exactly what's going to happen. But what I will say, and then I'll be quiet, is most of the area preschools have multi-age programs. This is a real common thing, and preschool is not like 8th grade algebra that's really kind of sequential and there's a lockstep kind of program. And a lot of differentiation happens there depending on developmental needs already. Philosophically, you'll find a lot of parents that are really interested in a program like this because you've got a broad, and I think I put the research in the board packet, there's a broad range of needs. And at age 3 and 4, the spectrum of development is immense. And so the teacher's already used to that kind of differentiation, even if they only have a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old program. Some of our teachers have had already experience in teaching both. So it's not like this is an unknown thing that's never been done before. So with that, what questions does the board have?
Mark, right now, of those individuals who have requested a PM option, you've got, the 6 that are requesting Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Are those 6 families right now under the impression that they are going to be in a 3-year-old only Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
That's a great question,
Okay.
Matt.
I called them all, and I just wanted to make sure, I preface it saying we're at the planning stages of this, and I want to make sure those 6 are okay for us to proceed. And I explained to them that we're thinking about a 3 and 4 class combined. So I called all 6. I have spoken to 5 of them. On the one, I've left 2 messages, and we just haven't hooked up yet. All 5 thought that was a fine idea.
Okay, and then I'll ask the same thing on on the 4-year-old program as well. Those that are requesting morning and afternoon, would they? Have we spoken to them that if they did get this afternoon option, that it would also be a 3 and 4-year-old?
Yes.
That it wouldn't be an exclusive 4-year-old. Okay, and that has been, there's been no objection.
Right.
And if a student qualifies for, if a student has special needs and qualifies for free preschool, could they, if they wanted to, send them to both AM and PM?
My recommendation to the board on that, for students who are free or reduced lunch, that they're offered a half day, whether it's an AM or a PM, because that's the same thing we do in the kindergarten, is you're offered the extended day for either free or reduced price. I'm not recommending that free and reduced would be eligible for both a morning and an afternoon session.
Was your question
No,
about free and reduced
no,
or
mine
about?
wasn't free reduced, mine was special needs.
Oh, if they needed this, oh, yeah, right, and see, well, there's another advantage, because, I'm sorry, I misunderstood that. That's another advantage, I'm
That
glad.
was gonna be my second question, so.
Okay, well, I
Take care
answered
of
that one. What happens now is that if we have a child who has an all-day need, that, and we don't, they may be with us in the morning, and then they're transported to another location. Now, the question is, depending on the need of the child, is can we accommodate them in a multi-age class, and that'll just depend on the needs. Bree, am I right on this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We would consider on an individual basis, typically the recommendation is for half day. There would really need to be some significant needs that we would recommend a full day. And we do have, like Mark said, a couple kids that are going to an afternoon program because we
Right.
don't have.
What about the group of kids that are not, that don't have the significant needs as
We would most likely make that recommendation for half day
just a half day?
eligibility.
Can I ask, we don't have any cost benefit analysis, what fees are we charging? Currently, the program is losing money, the preschool program, so if we're gonna add on an afternoon, it's gonna be more expense, but we're gonna have added revenue. We don't have any of that.
Well, actually, we're not adding anything on.
We don't have afternoon right now, right?
Yeah, we do. What we have right now is a 3-year-old afternoon and a 4-year-old afternoon. We already have that.
Oh,
So this isn't an additional, this is a reconfiguration of what we already have.
Yeah, and in terms of the cost, the program now in the PM is not financially efficient, for lack of a better term, because we have so few kids this particular year, and the big disadvantage is because we've kept 3- and 4-year-olds separately in the PM, that we have like 5 or 6 kids, and so that's 2 teachers. So what we're looking at here is putting those kids together where we still would have a manageable number for 1 teacher. So in actual fact, we'd be staffing this with 1 less teacher, which is a good thing right now, because we have other things where we have a huge kindergarten now, we're gonna have to implement a PM kindergarten, so we have a staffing need there. So cost-wise, this should be more cost-efficient than trying to cater to 3-year-olds in one PM program and 4-year-olds in another PM program, simply because we're less likely to get the numbers.
And by having those 3 students that opted for both morning and afternoon, it's almost like getting 3 additional students that we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Exactly, right. So we're anticipating that this will be more economical, but I can't give you anything definitive, Karen, because it all depends on enrollment. That's what dictates it. So until
full
we actually know
projections or
that.
anything, and what's a full day preschool program cost somewhere
Double.
else? I mean, $6,400, is that, obviously, these people were told that that's what the fees are, is that correct?
It's double.
That's
what
right,
I
it's
would
double.
see.
Is it $6,400? I don't know, is that right? $6,400? And
Yeah.
are they gonna be bused? Are they
No.
gonna have an option? Okay, see, I don't feel like we have all the information. I just feel like projections, I know last year we were given like numbers and costs, and I thought that our preschool program currently was losing a substantial amount of money, and it just seems maybe that.
Well, like I said, for me, I must have spent an hour and a half on the phone with Mark, going through all the layout. I had my grids and what teachers were teaching what, on what days, and what classrooms,
See,
and
that's
who's
great, I
there.
wish that
But-
been shared
But
with
what
us.
I'm saying is, I did that because I didn't understand. So, prior to coming in this evening, I took the time to call Mark and say, could you explain this to me? Because like you, when I first read, at